Hello, everyone. Can you see me? I just want you to respond into the chat that we have. Just can you write me in the chat whether you can see me and whether you can hear me? Yes and yes. Can you hear me all right? Yeah? Wonderful. So I would like to welcome everyone to the second part of our international competition among the best students of several cities and several countries that are participating. My name is Oksana, and I'm director of MSM, the International Union of Youth, the company that has organized the competition for you. And I hope you enjoy it, and I wish you all good luck. For the second tour, I would like to explain the rules of today's lesson. So we have a wonderful presenter, our partner from Oxford International Education Group from United Kingdom, from London, talking to you and conducting the lesson. When I finish the presentation and the rules, I will pass the word to Arthur, and Arthur will be able to conduct the lesson. So the rules for using the chat today are the following. I want you to ask to write the questions in English because today the lesson is conducted in English and you are able only to write in English, and only those who write in English will get the answers to your question. We use the chat today for the questions connected with our competition. So if you have any questions, you can type them, and in the end, Arthur and me will be able to answer some of your questions. The lesson today will also be videotaped, so we will be able to distribute the lesson to all of you, and you will be able to rewatch it before you write your personal statement. Okay? I can see some of the questions. If you have some difficulties with listening or with hearing me or Arthur today or with watching the presentation, you need to use, what I suggest you to do is to use the browser, which is called Google Chrome. And the second one, you need to make sure you have the Adobe Flash Player, the one of the latest version. You can download both the browser and both the Flash Player. But guys, don't worry. If you face some difficulties right now, you will get the video of the lesson afterwards. So don't panic. And those who face difficulties will get the material afterwards. All right? Okay, so let's start our lesson, and I want to pass the word to our wonderful partner, to head of foundation programs of Oxford International Education Group, Mr. Arthur Davis. And Arthur, are you online with us right now?
Yes, I am, Oksana. Thank you. I hope you can hear me clearly.
Yes, so please, dear participants, can you respond in the chat right now whether you can hear Arthur Davis? I will disconnect the video right now in order for you to hear him well. So I will switch off the video right now, my video. Okay? Please just respond in the chat whether you can hear Arthur when he starts speaking. Arthur, you're welcome to start our lesson, and everyone, good luck.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Well, good afternoon to everybody in Russia and in Ukraine. It's a great honor for me to be asked to speak to you, and I hope I can say some things which are useful for you for the future, and of course for this very exciting international competition organized by MSM. So, the first part of here we go. So, my name is Arthur Davis, as Oksana explained, and I'm head of foundation programs at Oxford International Education Group. And a foundation program is really a program designed to help students find a place at university. So my work is connected with trying to help students with all parts of the university application process. And writing a good personal statement is absolutely key to doing a good application. So writing a personal statement can make a very important impression on the university. A good statement can often make the difference between getting an offer from a university or not. So it's very important to do this well and to do it in what I think is the best way. So the idea is how to write a personal statement for your dream university. And in many ways, university is a dream. It's a fantastic experience. And I think you are lucky people because this is something you can look forward to in the future. Because at university, you will certainly meet more intelligent young people who like the same things as you, people who share your interests. It's also a great chance to develop. So you can develop academically and you can develop intellectually. You can learn about the world. You can learn about yourself. So your student years can be the happiest time of your life. And it's very important to have dreams. Dreams are very important. However, the reality of university is likely to be different from your dreams. So you can have dreams, but you must be realistic and be practical in order to achieve your dreams. That means you have to focus on what actually happens at university. So here are some basic facts. In most places, you will be at university for at least 3 years, which means it's extremely important to choose the right university, but also to choose the right course at the right university. Because maybe the biggest reason for students to drop out of university is they find that they're doing the wrong program. So it's really important to be sure that you want to study this subject at this university. Now, one of the difficulties is that there is a huge choice of universities. In the UK only, which is the sector I know most about, there are over 120 universities. Every town practically in the UK has at least one university. And at these universities, there are more than 20,000 different degree programs. So probably one program and one university will be exactly right for you. But maybe the difficult thing is to find out exactly which one will be the best one for you. Now, one place where you can get good information about universities and you can compare universities is to look at university rankings. Now, a ranking is a list of something from best to worst. So there are many organizations which produce rankings of universities. And possibly the one which has the best reputation is produced by THE, that is Times Higher Education. This produces a list of universities internationally. So it includes American universities, Canadian, British, French, German, Russian, Ukrainian. They're all there. So this is a very good place to find out which universities have the highest standards and which universities have the best reputation, which are the most prestigious, which have the highest standards. And if you're interested, according to Times Higher Education World University Rankings, the top university in the world is Oxford University in the UK. Number 2 is the California Institute of Technology, which is based in Pasadena in Los Angeles in America. Then there's Stanford University, which is also in California in America. And then Cambridge University, which is in the UK. So those are the top 4. But the important thing to remember is that this is just one way of looking at what is a good university. Because there are different criteria which people use to decide if a university is good or not. I did a little research in the Times Higher Education Rankings, and I'm afraid the top university in Ukraine is Lviv Polytechnic National University, which is only number 801. And in the Russian Federation, the top one is Lomonosov Moscow State University, which is number 188. Now, of course, this does not mean that these are bad universities. Absolutely not. It just means that the way that the universities are evaluated benefits some universities and doesn't benefit other universities. In fact, because the THE World Rankings are produced by a British organization, British universities and American universities are the most prominent ones in this particular ranking. If you're interested in universities just in the UK, then the other URL on this slide, the Complete University Guide, is a very thorough and very complete way to find out about UK universities. But the important thing is that you must do research. Find out about the university. Find out what it's like. Now, the Times Higher Education Supplement rankings are based on these factors: teaching, research, knowledge transfer, which means how well the people learn, and international outlook. So that's quite a limited range of factors. And of course, there are many other factors which can make a university good for you. For example, there's the reputation or prestige of the university. Some universities, usually the old traditional universities, have a very high reputation, probably because they have existed for a long time. But sometimes modern universities, which don't have the same reputation, can be better for some people and for some subjects. Then the location of the university is also very important. If you like hot, sunny weather, possibly don't go to university in Scotland. Go to California. If you don't mind the weather, then something can be different and may be better for you. So think about where the place is. Think about the place in terms of geography, but also the type of town where the university is situated. This can be very important, because if you're in a place where you don't feel happy, you are not going to enjoy the university experience. Also, I think you should pay attention to the type of university. So, is it a campus university or a city centre university? For example, in London, the universities are all in the city. They're just places where people go to study. The accommodation is usually separate, and you often have to travel quite a long way to go to the university. It's different for a campus where the university buildings and the student accommodation are in the same place. So this can have many advantages. You are more part of a community if you go to a campus university. You don't have the difficulties with transport. So there can be advantages to a campus university. Also, campus universities tend to be more modern. City centre universities tend to be older and more traditional. I mentioned accommodation, and this is very important because at university you have to live somewhere. Now, Oxford University is #1 in the Times ranking, but the accommodation in Oxford University, which is very old, is also very old. You can live in a beautiful building, but the beautiful building is sometimes very uncomfortable. It's cold in the winter and the hot water doesn't always work. If you go to a more modern university, the accommodation is usually better. So it's an important consideration. I think also another factor is the cost. Because if you go to university, for example, in the UK, at a top university, the fees are probably about $40,000 per year. And that's without accommodation or living expenses. And then also you have to think about the cost of living when you're a university student. So this will include things like your telephone, transport, entertainment, even food. So living expenses and fees can be a big cost. You also need to think about facilities, not just academic facilities like libraries, but also social facilities and sporting facilities. Then an important factor is student satisfaction. It's really important to find out what students say about the university where they study. Are they happy there? Do they feel the teaching is good? Do they feel the program is correct for them? Are they enjoying the experience of studying at that university? Try to find out what students think. Also, think about the teaching style. Some universities like to have traditional teaching with a lecturer speaking to a large number of students, but more and more universities now are focusing on group work and task-based assignments. So they want you to work on a problem as part of a group to find a solution. Also, the assessment style can be important. If you like traditional exams, maybe go to a traditional university. But other universities try to focus on different ways to assess the student's performance. So this can include a lot of coursework. So what I'm saying really is to find the best university for you, you have to do a lot of research. Find out what the university is like and then see if that seems to be the right place for you. Okay, now you must do research, as I say. Find out about the university, find out about the city, find out what students think, but also ask experts. Ask your family. Ask people you know who have gone to that university. Because making the choice of the right university is one of the most important decisions of your life. Now, if you go to university, you have to study something. Lucky people know exactly what they want to study. For many people, the choice is a bit difficult. But you have to decide what you want to learn. So I think there are 3 important questions to help decide what you want to study. First, what do you enjoy? What subjects do you like? Second, what are you good at? Because if you want to study something at a high level, you must have a high level of ability at that subject. What are you good at? And the third one, which is very important, is to think about what subject will help you in your career. Think about what you want to do when you finish university. Because university is not the goal. University is a way to help you achieve your goal. Universities just help you to learn skills and experience which will be useful for you when you finish university. So those three questions are very important. And remember, as I said before, you will be studying this subject probably for 3 years. So think about it and make a decision based on what you enjoy, what you're good at, and what will be useful for you in your later life. So be honest with yourself. Now, people sometimes decide that they want to study subjects because the subject has a good reputation or is prestigious or has high social status. But that's not the best reason. Be honest with yourself. Are you genuinely interested in the subject? Are you really interested in what? In engineering or medicine or psychology? Also, think about it. Are you a suitable person to study this subject? For example, if you want to study engineering, probably you need to be good at problem solving. You need to be a practical person. You need to be good at maths. You need to be logical and organized. Is that you? If you're not that type of person, maybe engineering isn't the best subject for you. Similarly, if you want to study law, you have to have good reasoning skills. You must be able to see different sides of a problem. You must be someone who likes dealing with complicated problems where there is no easy answer. If you're not that type of person, maybe law isn't the best subject for you. Because remember, you're learning something, you're learning skills, you're gaining experience, but there must be things which you can enjoy and which will be useful for you. So, I'm going to stop talking for a couple of minutes, and why don't you please write down yourself what you want to study at university and why you want to study this subject. Just decide what you would like to study and then list the number of reasons you can think of why you want to study the subject. All reasons are good, so just take a minute or so to do that. Okay, well, I hope you can come up with some interesting and credible reasons why you want to study it. Of course, some subjects lead directly to interesting careers like medicine or veterinary science, pharmacy, engineering, law, accounting, architecture. So if you study one of these subjects, you have already decided that this is what you want to do with your career. this is where you want to work. Other subjects can help you to get a good job, which can help you to earn a lot of money if that's what you want. These can include subjects like economics, business and management, finance, also information technology and foreign languages. These can all help you to get a good job and they have a strong practical element to them. But also some subjects are just interesting and they help you to develop critical and analytical thinking skills. They help you to think better. So these could be subjects like literature, psychology, history, philosophy. They're all useful subjects. They can all help you to learn new skills which will be useful in your career when you finish university. Then also, as I said before, think about the characteristics of people who work in the area that you want to study. And if they're like you, that's very good. If they're not like you, maybe you should think again if that's really what you want to do. So, to repeat myself, think about what you'd like to do when you finish university. Think about what you're good at. Think about what you enjoy. And talk to people about this because people know you. So talk to people who understand you and who know you. Talk to your teachers. Speak to your parents and family members. It's a very good idea also to speak to education consultants because these people know the system and they are very good at helping students to find the right opportunity. Also, talk to your friends. Your friends know you, they know what you like, they know what you're good at, they can give you good advice. Speak to people who are at university now and listen to what they tell you. Try to get as much advice as possible from as many people as possible. Of course, the final decision is yours, but it's much better to make a decision based on good evidence. So, let's come to the personal statement. If you apply to university, you have to fill in a lot of forms which give a lot of information. But essentially, this information is only what you want to study, your academic record, that is, what are your grades at school, and a few basic facts about you. The university will know this, but the university will not know if you're enthusiastic and interested in the subject. The university will not know if you understand the subject, if you understand what you will be learning at university. The university will not know why you want to study the subject, and the university will not know if you're the type of person who can learn from them, if you're the type of person who will enjoy studying the subject and someone who will benefit from the opportunity. They will want to know if you are ready to be a university student, if you're someone who is independent and can look after yourself. They'll want to know if you have the personal qualities to succeed. And this is especially true if you want to study overseas, because it's very difficult to live in a foreign country. And they'll want to know that you have the maturity to be able to manage this. So the personal statement is your opportunity to show the university that you have the ability and the commitment to study the subject successfully for 3 years. So it's a personal statement. It's about you and your suitability as a student. It's telling the university and showing the university that you have the necessary qualities to be a successful student. So remember, you're writing the statement for university people. And these people are being paid to read your personal statements. It's their job to read your application. So it's not necessary to sell yourself. You don't need to make a big presentation. You don't need to stand out from other people. They're not really interested in that. What they want to know is, can you organize the presentation of information to persuade them that you will be a good student? You're trying to demonstrate to the university that you're someone who can benefit from being there. You're showing them that you understand the situation, and you're showing them that you have the ability to be a good student. So it's very important, I think, to present your points in a clear and logical way. And always, if you can, support what you write with evidence. Don't just make a statement about yourself, but make a statement and then support this statement with facts that are true. So, if you say, I am very good at mathematics, that's excellent. But if you say, I am very good at mathematics, I always get over 95% in my exams, that's a true statement supported by evidence. So don't just make statements, but support them if you can. Don't just tell them that you can do something. Provide evidence which shows that you can do it. Now, for this international competition and for most personal statements, the typical length is about 500 words. And please try to write in paragraphs. Don't just write one long block of 500 words. Try to break up the statement into sections. This makes it much easier to write and also much easier to read. Please also try to write in accurate, clear, and direct English. You don't need to use complicated words and complicated expressions. You just need to give the evidence to persuade the people in a clear and direct way. So don't worry if the English looks simple. If it's making a point, if it's communicating what you want, it is effective. So, the first part of the personal statement is the introduction. And, of course, the introduction is there to introduce you. And it's a personal statement, so it should state the basic facts about you. I think it should say who you are, what you are currently studying, what you want to study at university, and what you hope to do after university. I don't think it's necessary to have a quotation or make a big statement. I think simply to give necessary information is sufficient. So here's an example of one. This was from one of my students, and I think from 2015. He said, I am a student from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. I am currently studying A-levels in London. It is my ambition to study hospitality management at university in the UK. Okay, it's not bad. It's a little bit simple and a little basic, but I think it does the job. It introduces him. It introduces what he wants to do and why he wants to do it. Here's another example, a little better, I think, from another of my students. I am from Abuja in Nigeria. I am currently studying a university foundation program in London with a view to going on to study law at university. It is my ambition to return to my country after I graduate in order to pursue a socially useful and rewarding career as a lawyer in private practice, or in a government department. I think this is not going to win any prizes for literature, but I think it's a very good introduction to a personal statement because it gives important information which can set a context for the rest of the statement. I think it's much better to be informative in this way, to give information, than to have something like this, which another of my students wrote. Life is incredible. I believe that we can design it ourselves. Individuals are able to develop themselves in any area they want. Our future is not controlled by anyone, and our personal characteristics help lead us to a specific future. Well, this may all be true, but I don't think this is connected in any way with an application for a university. So I think it's much better just to be basic and practical with the introduction. I think the next section should deal with your choice of subject, what you have decided you would like to study. And they'll want to know why. Why do you want to study this? So perhaps you can tell them when and why you became interested in the subject. What was it that made you want to study medicine or engineering or economics? There must be a reason. Tell them. Also, and this is important, what aspects of that subject particularly interest you and why? I think it's always a good idea, if you want to study something, to pick on one part of that subject and then find out more about it and explain that this is why you want to study the subject in a general sense. So this is an opportunity to do some extra work to show that you are genuinely interested in the subject. Choose something and find out more about it. Do some background reading. Go on the internet and find out more about it. For example, if you want to study psychology and then you decide that what's particularly interesting is social psychology, find out about that. So you have, I think, to do more than just the basics. The university is looking for evidence that you are particularly interested in the subject. So you'll need to provide this evidence that you're interested in the subject, and also you'll need to suggest that you understand what you will be studying at university if you study the subject at the higher level. So the most important evidence that you can give them, of course, is to get good grades at school. So please work hard, get good grades. This is the most important thing. But in addition to this, you'll also need to demonstrate some commitment to extracurricular activities. So this phrase just means things which you don't study at school. So you study at school, but you have to do more than that. So essentially, extracurricular activities means doing things and reading things. So do things which are related to what you want to study. That means get some work experience. If you want to study engineering, see if you can find a part-time job or an internship in an engineering company. If you want to study medicine, you'll need to do something to involve yourself in medicine, volunteer to do something. So work experience, part-time jobs, voluntary work, internships are all very important, because if you actually do something in the area you want to study, it's strong evidence that you are genuinely interested in that subject. And also, it's a very good opportunity to get some real practical experience of that subject. The other thing you must do is read. Most people think young people don't read enough. So if you read things related to what you want to study, you can demonstrate a strong level of interest in that particular subject. Reading is very important. Read specialist magazines. If you want to study economics, read the business pages of the newspaper. Read the business news online, and so on. Reading is so important. So, this evidence is to show that you are actively engaged with the subject and you are learning things that you can't learn at school. You're doing something extra, not just schoolwork, but schoolwork and other things. Another very important point is to show the university that you can think like a doctor if you want to study medicine, or you can think like an architect if you want to study architecture. So you have to, or you should, demonstrate to the university that you have this particular mindset, this way of looking at things. For example, for economics, you can show you're thinking like an economist if you can relate economic problems in the real world to the economics you can study at school. Think about the social impact of economic decisions, or think about the likely effects of current policies. Equally, for medicine, where you must get work experience, don't try to think like a doctor. Don't focus on what doctors do, but think about the effects of what they do. Try and think about medical problems from a different perspective, from the point of view of the patient, or think about important issues in modern medicine. So when you're writing about your choice of subject, you can include information such as family background, your academic studies at school, but also importantly, extracurricular activities, relevant experiences, relevant reading, and subject-specific skills. It's also important to talk about transferable skills. Now, transferable skills are general skills that every student will need if they are to study at university. So the most important of these is IT skills. It's very important to say that you've got these. So if you can use word processing programs and spreadsheets, that's fundamental. But also it's good to mention if you can use other software like video or music editing. Also, demonstrate, tell them, show them that you can work as part of a team. More and more, students at university and people in the real world of work in teams. It's not just individuals, but individuals working together. This is an important skill. Also, try to demonstrate that you have leadership skills, that you can take the initiative. Tell them that you're able to work to specific guidelines, that you can follow a particular plan, that you can manage your time successfully, you can meet deadlines, you are good at communicating, and you can think analytically and critically. These are essential skills for university, but also these are things which you will need to have at work. Tell them that you've got these. So this is an example of, again, one of my students who wanted to study biochemistry. And I'll read it out quickly. So I come from a scientific background. Both my parents are scientists, and they have encouraged me to be interested in science and to think like a scientist. So she's giving background information. I would like to study biochemistry at university because I want to extend my understanding of the basic processes that enable and support life, particularly at a molecular level. So here she's said why she's interested in the subject. I think she could give more detail, but she's covered this area. Then some work experience. In the summer holidays, I've had the opportunity to work as a volunteer in the hematology department at a hospital, working on the diagnosis of blood disorders. This experience has shown me that science at a high level involves working very carefully and accurately, and that sharing ideas and working together as a team is the most effective way to produce results. So here we have transferable skills in a professional context. I believe this experience has helped me to develop my communication and record-keeping skills. I have learned about roles and responsibilities as part of a team and the importance of IT. I enjoyed this work immensely, and it has made me ambitious to work in this area. So, in this paragraph, this student has linked a lot of different ideas together and has shown that specific skills and transferable skills can go together to produce a strong statement. So, the dream university. So you have to explain why you want to study at a particular university and say what it is that attracts you to that university. We discussed this earlier, so if you've done your research, you'll know about the university and you'll know why you want to study there. For example, I would like to study at the University of Dundee because its ranking shows that it has high academic standards, but also rates very highly for student satisfaction. I want to study at a campus university because this creates more of a community and will make it easier to participate in all the different student activities. I have also noted that the accommodation at Dundee is modern and affordable. So that's a good reason to go there. Now, in the personal statement, I think you should also mention what you enjoy doing in your free time, your interests and your hobbies. This makes the statement appear more personal. And sometimes, if it's possible, you can write about things in such a way that relates those activities to the program you want to study or to the skills you will need in order to study successfully. And if it's possible, when you're talking about interests and hobbies, talk about things which you actually do rather than things which you witness. For example, it may be better to say that you play the guitar than to say that you like listening to music. It's better to say that you play football than that you watch football on TV. So as I said, sometimes you can relate things to what you want to study. For example, if you like shopping, which may be not an academic activity, you can think about shopping from an analytical point of view. You can analyze the customer experience. Is this shop a nice place to buy things? Why or why not? You can think about marketing or staff training. Think about what the shop does badly. Think about how the shop could be better. Try to think like a business person. Or if you participate in football or any team sport, then the skills you can learn are teamwork, thinking quickly, adapting to new situations, leadership, strategic planning. So don't just say, I like playing football, but just say, playing football has helped me to develop my team working skills. I've learned to adapt to new situations and to show leadership where it's necessary. Make the most of what you do. Even if you just like sitting playing games, this can help develop your IT skills and your strategic thinking. So don't just say you do something, but try and talk about the benefits you gain from doing it. And as I said, you can also mention things you enjoy, but if you do, give some details. So don't just say that you like reading, but say what type of books you enjoy. Don't just say you like music, but say what type of music you like. This gives an idea of you as a person. And also, you need to explain to the university why you will be a good student. You've explained to the university a lot of things, but you need to talk about specifically your motivation, your enthusiasm, and your ambition to do well. And remember, university is about more than just studying. So you have to show them that you know about this. It's a chance to extend your social activities, participate in different things, make an active contribution to university life. And the last part should be the conclusion. I think you should just finish the statement with a simple and direct comment. And this is an example. I believe I have the enthusiasm and motivation to study successfully at your university and take advantage of all the opportunities being a student will present to me. That's fine. But also, maybe this could also include an idea about how university can help prepare a student for the next stage of their life, how university can equip a student with the skills and experience that will be essential in later life. Now, just another word about language. As I said before, please try to write in a clear and direct way. And you must not copy from other statements. If you do, the university will find out because they have sophisticated software programs that can see if something is a copy, and they'll simply reject your application. Be enthusiastic, but be realistic. And please don't say things which are not true. Don't exaggerate. Just simply explain your choices and give reasons. So the basic layout: introduction, your choice of subject, why you want to study this, your dream university, why you want to study at this university, why you will be a good student, what are your interests and hobbies, and finally, a short conclusion. So remember, it is a personal statement. It's written by you and it's written about you. So please be confident about yourself. Don't try to be anybody else, just be yourself. Tell them who you are and what you want to do, and I'm sure that will be enough. So, this is the task. Write a statement for your dream university on a computer using Microsoft Word. And there's a word limit, no more than 500 words. And those are the dates for submission, and that's how to submit it. So those are the basic requirements for the competition. I'm sure Oksana will tell more about that.
Yes.
So that's all from me.
Thank you, Arthur, very much. And what I suggest right now, I just want to go back to the task to explain one more time. Yes, and then we will open the chat, so the participants will be able to type the questions, and both Arthur and me will be answering several of your questions. So please listen to the task right now. You have to write your personal statement, and I have seen some of your questions. You are asking whether you need to write it to the real university, and the answer is yes. You have to choose a real university. It can be anywhere in the world. It can be in your home country. It can be, for example, in the countries that you are interested into going and studying, like United Kingdom, United States, Czech Republic, anything. Number of words no more than 500. And you will, from today, you will have several days to write your personal statement. So you can do it up to the 5th of March. And on the 5th of March, to your email that you have used for the first part of the competition, you will get instructions how to submit your personal statement. You will need to submit your personal statement on a special platform, and you will get an access, a password, and we will give an access on the 5th of March. So right now you have almost a week to prepare your personal statement. Think, research, write. You shall better use computer, and you can use Microsoft Word, or you can use any other program. But you will need to submit it electronically. So you will need to copy and paste in a special system. Okay? Now I would like to open the chat. Can I please ask our moderators to open the chat? Arthur, can you see the questions of the students?
Yes, I think so, if they come, yes.
Okay, so please, dear participants, write your questions in the chat right now. Please think about what you want Arthur to answer in terms of writing a personal statement, okay? So I see some of the questions.
I'm sorry, I can't see them. Perhaps, Oksana, can you read out
Yeah,
the question?
sure. For example, Arthur, the question is, how many paragraphs should be there?
I think, as a general rule, 1 paragraph for each section. So I think I suggested writing about 6 sections, so maybe 6 paragraphs.
Another question, what if I want to learn foreign languages in university, but my math grades are not good enough?
Yes, I think maths is important, but for the UK, I think you don't need to have very good maths in order to study a foreign language. It's much more important that you're good at a foreign language. Similarly, if you want to study maths, it's not very important to be able to speak French. So I wouldn't worry. As long as your maths is at a basic level, if you got a pass mark at about year 11, that's in the UK, then you'll be acceptable to a UK university for foreign languages.
Another question, whom shall we address when we write a personal statement?
I think you don't address anybody, you just write it. So you don't need to address it to a person. Just start as I suggested you start, and then write about yourself. I'm afraid it's a very egotistical activity. You just have to say, this is me, this is what I want to do, this is why I will be a good student. And that's what's required.
And there was another interesting question. One of the participants was writing to me while you were speaking. She or he, I don't remember the name, sorry, asked how can we write a personal statement if we are still studying at a secondary school?
Yes, I think you can, because what you're saying is that you will be, this is where you are with your studies, and you want to study at the next level. So I think most personal statements are written by people who are still at secondary school or high school. And it's really saying that this is where they are now in terms of their education, and they want to go to university, and this is why the university should offer them a place. So it's really summing up your situation at the moment in such a way to present it to the university and make a strong case that the university should accept you as a student. So most people who apply to university are still at school.
Another question, shall I, it's going so fast, shall I mention all of the portfolio that I have, all of the achievements that I have in my life in my personal statement, or shall they be connected with the subject, with the university? What can you advise?
That's a very good question. I think it depends how many achievements you got. I think the most important achievements are ones which are connected with what you want to study. I think you should mention those in detail and explain them. I think the other ones can be part of your hobbies and interests. These can be something which can explain that you're someone who takes things seriously and someone who has high standards and achieves a lot. So, for example, if you want to study economics and you have achievements which relate to economics, then talk about those in detail. But if you won a photography prize and if you are a very good badminton player, you can mention that in the interests and hobbies section without explaining so much in detail. Does that make sense?
Well, I think so. Another question, how should I prove that I have good grades at school?
I think the school, or you'll have to submit as part of the form your academic transcript, so they'll know that you have good grades.
Yes, I would like to add, usually if you're applying, for example, to UK university or to the university in the United States or Switzerland or Germany, you have to submit your grades from the school. The part of our competition, we won't use it in our competition, so we don't need to see your grades. The competition that we have, we want you to try and write your personal statement, so you can just mention that you have good grades and there is no need to attach. But if we go from competition to the real life, usually most of the universities, of course, will ask you to submit your grades, so you will need to show your grades to the university. Another question that has been, I have seen several times in the chat. Do I need to write the personal statement in the form of a text or a letter? I need to write it like a letter or just like a regular text?
Please, not like a text that you write on your phone, no. Maybe the nearest equivalent is like an essay. So it's really, you're trying to explain why you are a good student for the dream university. And so you have to make points and give reasons to explain your argument in a clear and logical way. So please, not like a text on a phone, not like a personal letter. It's really making a strong argument to say that you will be an excellent student for that university.
Another question, what if I want to study 2 courses in the university? Shall I mention both of them in the personal statement?
Yes. If you want to study joint honours, so that's studying 2 things at the same time, for example, economics and business, yes, you must talk about economics and you must talk about business.
Someone is writing, and I think it's like an opportunity for this student to ask you this direct question, whether there is a design faculty at the University of Oxford.
Design faculty? I don't think there is. Oxford is a very traditional university, and so it teaches traditional subjects. And design is one of the more modern ones. But I'm not 100% sure, but this is something you can research. So go to the University of Oxford undergraduate website and just see what courses they have.
Arthur, what do you suggest? What is the minimum number of words? So maximum is 500, and the system will not let you submit your personal statement in our competition if you have more than 500 words. But what do you suggest that we put as a minimum requirement? What is the good minimum number of words?
Well, usually for academic work, they have a sort of 10% either side. So if you aim at 450 words, then 500 will be okay and 400 will be okay. So probably 400 should be the minimum, I think.
So 400, our advice, you put in the minimum, and 500 will be the maximum, okay?
Yes, that's right. I think anything less than 400 is a little bit too short.
Okay. Someone was asking me whether they can submit the work on the 9th of March, on the 8th of March at 11:59 p.m. and the answer is yes. So you can submit your work. The deadline will be 11:59 p.m. but we suggest you do it earlier in case you cannot upload it or something like this. So let me choose two more questions, two more last questions, okay? It's going so fast. Someone is asking, what if I don't have any work experience? Is it bad? Is it very bad for personal statement?
No, it's not very bad, but it depends on the subject. For example, with medicine, I think if you don't have any practical experience of medicine, then I think they won't look at your application, unfortunately. I think having work experience is a very positive thing if you have it, but it's not everything. So for most subjects, I think it's okay if you don't. But I really would recommend everybody to try to get some positive work experience, volunteer work, internships, and so on. Not just because it's very good for your university application, but also it's very good experience for you, because it will give you a direct understanding of how this subject is dealt with in the real world. Not at school, not at university, but in real life. So I think it's a very good thing to do, and I recommend doing it. But it's not the end of the world if you don't.
And the last question, let it be the last one. I know that you have a lot of questions here. Do we need to name the university? And the answer is yes. Just choose one university which is your dream university, or which can be one of your dream universities, and let us make it direct, so you will get this experience of writing a real personal statement to a real university. Okay, so I would like to summarize, to give a little bit more instructions. All of you who are in the second part of our competition, in the beginning of next week, I hope it will be Monday, but no later than Tuesday, you will get an email with direct instructions and criteria for writing your personal statement. We will send you this video lesson, so we have been videotaping it, and you will get it, and you will be able to watch it as many times as you wish and try all these links that were presented in the presentation. So in your email, you will get the directions, and you will have almost a week to write your personal statement. If you have any questions, you can always contact MSM office in the countries you are based in and in the cities you are based in. And you have all our contact information, and I will just write our website one more time here in the chat, where you can find all the contact details of the cities that we are located. So I want to thank everyone for participation and wish everyone a good luck. And I want to thank our wonderful speaker, Arthur Davis from United Kingdom, from Oxford International Education Group, talking to us today from London. Thank you very much, Arthur. Thank you.
Not at all.
So wishing you good luck. And I want to say goodbye to everyone, so you will be able to start writing your personal statement. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.